Alright, so welcome to another episode of Match Analysis here. We are going to go ahead and hop right into the action. We've got Champions of the Realms to week number 5, top 8 here, and this is going to be Rashid versus Sully. Sully, of course, familiar face. We've seen him a few times in the Nightmare series. He's been definitely putting in some work. He had previously been playing a lot of Cassie and Cetrion, although here, as we can see on the character select screens, it does look like we're going to be seeing Joker out of him. We've got the Kapow for combo extension, as well as the Jumping Jester, which is going to be that jack-in-the-box he puts on the ground and hops up into the sky. You can amplify it to make it a threat on the way down as well. And then over here, Rashid going to be using his Fujin. Rashid has been playing a lot of Fujin and Liu Kang, it appears. And this time around, he'll be going with the Skywalker, which I feel like Skywalker almost seems to be a staple move for Fujin players. You wind up finding that move on quite a few builds just because of the combo versatility that it gives. Then he's got the Arsenal so that he can do some stuff while he's in the air. And, of course, the Warp Needle. So I believe this might actually be one of the presets. I'm not actually sure. I didn't really pay attention to him. But here we go. Let's hop into the action here. So the interesting thing to always look at, I feel like, is what is people's first opening move. In some ways, it can kind of tell a lot about what a player's game plan may even be. For example, characters that want to get up close and personal with you, that want to be in your face, need to be very aggressive, more rushdown oriented. They are typically going to be moving forward. Either they might jump at you right away, they might come in with some normals. That's exactly what Sully has done here. Sully has gone ahead and just immediately off the rip, he's pushing his running normal. So that normal goes quite far, and he's just moving right in. Now, Rashid off the rip, it didn't look like there was much movement from him. He was just kind of seeing what his opponent was going to do. So Sully is going to make the first move here. Of course, Rashid not going to get caught. He'll easily block the overhead afterward as well. There's not really a significant mix-up there, particularly with Sully not having the low Batsy Poo. That low Batsy Poo would allow him to sneak a bit of a mix-up game in there. There might be a little bit too much of a startup on it to catch a player of Rashid's caliber, but because that's not even there, the mind game doesn't even exist. So the overhead clearly coming, Rashid blocks it, and we're kind of now in an up-close and personal game where Rashid just goes ahead with the throw. So that's going to be his opening move. Wow, I am honestly shocked here. So Rashid gets the throw, and then he runs in, and now one of Fujin's best moves, without a doubt, is this backdraft move that he has. One of the reasons that it's so good, this move that he's starting up right here, is that it has actually 2 different distances you can use it at. So it has like a close one, which I believe would have caught, and then it also has a further one, which essentially goes about half screen. So he's got access to this sort of wind pull that comes from behind you or in front of you. I mean, it depends on where you're standing, honestly. It comes in a specific spot, but it can hit like behind you, pull you in toward him. But here, Rashid goes for it. It looks like he may have gone for the far one, and you see the wind dissipate right behind Sully. So just barely too far, or too close, one could say. So Rashid's going to whiff, and Sully's right in there with the punishment. And because he's got these Joker gloves, that's just free, or not free, costs meter to launch, but that's immediate launcher off of any touch. He's going to be going into that Joker boxing glove for it. Now Rashid does break out of that as well, immediately spending that defensive meter. Not unexpected to spend the defensive meter to get out of that. Joker hits for really, really solid damage on those bread and butter combos he does with those Joker gloves. So not surprising at all. Ooh, nice flawless block there from Rashid. Joker's Jack-in-the-Box is one of those really, really obnoxious space control tools. What it ends up doing is it just kind of bounces along the fight line, and it controls this whole space. It's got such a... The way that it ends up bouncing, it actually, for the most part, will catch not everyone's jump, and I'm sure there are some spacings and timings that people can do, but ultimately, it's not as easy to jump over as your typical projectile that you may want to jump over. And additionally, it's got all this coverage that it supplies for Joker to follow in with. So if Joker wants to either A, get in on you, stop you from shooting at him to keep him out, or even B, run away from you, decide like, okay, you're getting a little bit too close, let's put this Joker, this Jack-in-the-Box out here, that's gonna slowly hop across the screen, you're gonna stop moving, and I'm just gonna get out of dodge. I'm just gonna continue backdashing and make my escape. So that is, you know, what this tool ends up doing, is it basically takes control of the match momentarily for Joker, unless you're playing a select few characters that can get over it. Now, Fujin might even be one of those if you Skywalker over it, but the other thing to consider too is Rashid doesn't have any meter, so if he goes for a Skywalker right now, he's going to have to commit to many of those Skywalker options. He's going to have to go into, I think it's got like a dash or a dive kick. He doesn't have the meter to cancel it, and that is likely why he just decides, okay, I need to flawless block this. That is how you deal with the Jack-in-the-Box, is you flawless block it. Flawless blocking it significantly reduces that chip. It's way less of a hassle to deal with, and because it's so telegraphed, that is what players need to be doing. And here, that's exactly what Rashid does. And he takes a full turn afterward as well, forces a breakaway out of Sully. Now there's no defensive meter here, so Rashid's going to have to hold all of this damage. Honestly, that wasn't too crazy in the damage department, but it does look like Sully was going for some kind of setup here. If you see Sully heads into the corner, uses that Jack-in-the-Box as the ender, and then he's immediately backing away, and then just got caught actually trying to back up even further. So he may have even been looking to bait that get-up attack. Joker is a character that has extremely good baiting potential on people's breakaway. The core reason for that being that he has a crushing blow launching string that also has decent range on the first hit. So he stands out of the range of your get-up attack. You whiff your get-up attack, then he steps in with this really long-range crowbar, and he crushes your face and launches you. And because you spent meter on your get-up attack, now you can't get out of the damage either. So getting your wake-ups baited by Joker can be incredibly, incredibly deadly. Here, Rashid does successfully get the win to connect. Now, this could have been Sully just mistiming it or not considering the space properly, but nonetheless, Sully is going to get caught here. And Rashid is pretty close to killing, and wow, as soon as I said that, I actually haven't watched this, so I don't know how this goes. That was not what I was expecting. For Sully to just essentially do what he was planning on doing initially anyway, right? He was going for a situation where he's hit him with this big combo. He knows about how much damage is left. This is a little under 40%. We're looking at maybe 39% here. So he knows how much damage he needs, and his game plan was back away, swing in, and go straight into Fatal Blow for the kill. And now he gets hit, and he just does it anyway. And this should kill here. I'm not 100% sure that it will, but I do believe so. The crowbar hits here at the end are just a truckload of damage. Yeah, even there, an excessive extra hit at the end. 42% for Sully to secure that victory. Now, one thing about having to spend the Joker Fatal Blow like that is, in essence, he's also spent his Joker forward throw crushing blow. His 30% crushing blow, his ability to do the cancel and all that mind games, he's also spent that. And he didn't get to even use them. But because he decided to spend Fatal Blow to take that round, he's not going to have access to those tools as we move forward. Oh, it does insane damage, Claymation. It does insane damage. 42% off of 2 hits to confirm is so good. I mean, it's just barely shy of half health. And that is a really, really powerful comeback mechanic. Not to mention, you can hit confirm into it, but you can also just kind of do it and then dash cancel it, right? If they block it when you're swinging for it, then you dash cancel it. So Joker's Fatal Blow, definitely one of the best, and it's got a crushing blow attached to all of that. It's really, really powerful. So there's that Jack-in-the-Box, and even though he got caught by the crossbow here, the Jack-in-the-Box still becomes problematic. It still allows him to start to move. Rashid got caught instead of blocking it, but he still was going to have to sort of contend with the fact that Sully was going to get to move around as he pleased. Nice launcher. Ooh, that is crucial. I got to be honest, I messed up the timing 90% of the time here with this flawless block, but Fujin's Warp Needle, and you'll see it happen quite a bit, particularly if you're running around in Combat League, running into just your everyday Fujin players. They'll be using that amplified Warp Needle a ton. Now, Han Rashid, because Sully flawless blocks this, we may actually see significantly less amplified Warp Needle from him because he knows that Sully is going to be able to blow it up. But you'll see it happen a lot. Warp Needle, go for the Amplify, and there Sully was absolutely prepared, and he's going to get a counter. No punish on that, so that does end up being a counter. Oh my goodness, what a call out though by Sully. So Sully makes this flawless block read here, which is big, and it's not even a read necessarily, it's just a timing thing. Gets the timing here, opens Han Rashid up, and Han Rashid does not want to see this damage. But Sully, he is going to make sure you deal with it. Amplify Jack in the Box, which is his armor break. So now he's broken his armor. The defensive meter is spent. He's only 25% into this damage, and he's going to be able to add on to it. An unfortunate drop from Sully, but it still does leave Han Rashid without that defensive resource for quite some time. And because he's playing Fujin with the Skywalker stuff, he does have to worry about being able to use like the Skywalker cancel, right? He's not going to be able to. He does get the defensive meter back here, and man, look at that damage as well. That was really good. That was a great sequence from Han Rashid, honestly. I mean, sometimes that's how Mortal Kombat can end up working out, right? You get hit by something, you read that they're going to go to throw you afterward, they don't throw you, and then they end up launching you for a second time around the combo route. Like that can be really tough, and that seems to be what sort of happened here to Sully. Sully gets caught with the air-to-air, one clean little combo here, into the restand, and here comes the mids, and the mids open him up, right? Sully was looking to poke out of something. He was looking to uppercut out of the throw attempt. Something other than blocking here is what Sully wanted to do, and Han Rashid's just going to take that mid, and he's got offensive meter still, and he's going to turn that right into the round victory here. A lot of damage there for him, so very clean by Han Rashid. And that's just sometimes how MK11 goes, you know? Sully didn't have the breakaway to get out of it. Had he had the breakaway, I'm not sure he would have even spent it, given that he had already taken round one. But challenge going to be back in his favor. Ooh, okay. Skywalker's out of the corner. Interesting decision there. I like the idea, though. Fujin is a character that doesn't need the corner to do damage. Some of the Fujin abilities maybe are a little stronger in the corner, but he's not necessarily a character that lives and dies in the corner. So his decision to give himself that freedom to Skywalker out of the corner completely means that he's still going to be able to do his usual combo routes for, you know, mid-30s damage, which is good. And he's going to also have the freedom to exploit and utilize his character's superior range. Right? If you're backing up in the corner, or even if you have your opponent cornered, it's a little bit more difficult. Or if you have your opponent cornered, it's easy for them to maybe turn the tide real quick, and then you don't have anywhere to run. Now, when the sides get switched, if something happens, if you get thrown, you're still able to continue to run away a little bit, dictate the pace. He's got that really, really long-range backdraft wind that he summons, and I think that's going to be a key thing as well if he decides to continue running away. So we'll see how Han Rashid kind of works here. In the mid-screen, though, he's still got the big damage, so the option to back off is going to be important. Good blocks. Ooh, that time he must have mistimed it or something. Now, there is breakaway available, and this time Han Rashid does not go for a breakaway, it would appear. He saw what happened last time. Sully called him out, but look at this combo. Oh, he doesn't hit it. So there's actually a double uppercut combo that you can do with Joker there. After that launcher, you uppercut, and then you uppercut again if they don't break away. And it hits for like mid-30s. It's pretty good damage for not a lot of effort. I think it's a little strict on the timing, but it's only a few button presses needed. All right, there's that win, getting himself out of the corner again, but then right back into it. Han Rashid just kind of all over the place. That's part of the Fujin game plan, though, is to be really elusive. Ooh, does Sully have enough damage? Okay, wow, that was good. Okay. So Sully was going full force, likely even for the kill here, but Han Rashid does recover that defensive meter in time, and basically as soon as he got it, Han Rashid's breaking away. but he's going to die in the process nonetheless. Sully taking game 1. Ooh, man, he did this one just for me. The brutality, beautiful. It's not quite like Jade's, but it is very similar. It's got that big range like Jade's. I think it's really good. I don't know. I think they're the same speed. I think Jade's might be a little bit further range, but it does do the same thing. So, like, one of the big things about Jade's is that it basically has coverage all the way up, right? It's like the crowbar goes, like, has an arc, or the staff has like an arc all the way up, and Joker's crowbar does the same thing. So it is in some ways very similar to Jade's. Joker is so good. Joker is so good in this game. They made this character incredibly strong. He's got a really good set of normals. They're really good on the stagger side of things. This boxing glove move that Sully is using for his combo extension is, for the most part, safe. It might be that Rashid can catch him with Backdraft, that wind that he summons behind him. That might work as a punish, because it's really negative on block, but it's got a ton of pushback. So Kapow, that's what it's called. He can, for the most part, get away with that in a lot of matchups. And it's really, really like a solid, well-rounded kit and set of tools that Joker has. He's also really tiny, right? He huddles down in a very tiny hurt box when he's crouching. Really, really good. All right, nice throw to open him up here. Rashid doing a good job of finding that opening, because Sully has been trying to be really defensive. And he just spent all of his meter on those jack-in-the-boxes. Oh, point blank with the crossbow. That's a crucial drop from Rashid. But so there you see it. There it just happened. They're swinging back and forth, right? At some point, Sully, he just lets it rip, takes the risk, and he goes for his launcher. Now, if this hits, Rashid has no defensive meter. If this hits, Sully gets 30%, mid-30s. If it doesn't hit, as it doesn't, Rashid gets nothing. It's got so much pushback on it that even with a quick little dash up, his sword's not going to go far enough. So he actually ends up getting nothing out of it. And that, I'm not sure if it's going to come up a bunch, but I mean, that is one of the things that I think personally makes Joker really, really, really strong in certain instances. Mistiming the flawless block there. I think Rashid's noticing that too, that Sully hasn't been getting the timing right on that, so he's still willing to go for it. Right? He got it right the first time, but since then he's been kind of fumbling it. I like this change of pace here from Rashid. In game 1, Rashid was willing to get a little bit more up close and personal. He was, even when he was getting the side switch and pushing it back into mid-screen, the approach was still go for some jump-in stuff, skywalker around, and here now, in this game, it seems like it's been a lot more of a, okay, I'm just going to back away, I'm not going to go anywhere near this crowbar-wielding fuckhead, and I'm just going to shoot crossbow bolts. There have been tons of crossbow bolts fired across the screen here from Rashid, and that has been where a core group of his damage has come from. Even to the point where when Sully is trying to get his amplified jack-in-the-box out there, the recovery, he's still able to block the jack-in-the-boxes when he's not moving all around and he's just standing in his ground and shooting. So the crossbow has been definitely one of the bigger changes here from Rashid. As soon as I say that, though, he's right up in there. But it's that conditioning, right? You sort of condition your opponent to think that you're going to start to run away, and then they're looking for you to run away. And then you can start to get in. That's going to be big here. Nice damage. 27% into a restand, which is really not bad if you consider that I don't think he had to spend too much in the meter department. Let's see if he didn't even spend anything meter-wise, right? This is all meterless. So this is a 27% meterless combo here into a restand. That is not bad at all. And because it's Fujin, typically a restand at this range is not a restand that people need to respect. You know what I mean? Like, you can't poke them here. You're not able to throw them here. So the fact that you've restood them, for the most part, doesn't really mean anything. But with Fujin, he's got this backdraft, which is exactly what Rashid goes for. Sully wisely knows it's coming, but the ability to restand even at those longer ranges and still threaten them with that wind is, I think, incredibly powerful. Because if you catch him here, then Rashid could technically have turned that into huge damage. Like, that could have really started to steamroll into Rashid's favor if that would have caught. And more crossbows, more backing away, not really looking to commit to an up-close game. He's realizing the crossbow approach has been more effective here. It's got him the first round, got him a big chunk here in round 2. Okay, look at that. That is the sort of uppercut opties here. So Sully going for the uppercut combo here. And instead of doing the double uppercut combo, which I've seen some people do, he just goes for like a full route afterward as well. But I love this approach. So you go for this uppercut. If they break away, you get a good grip of damage, and you're not necessarily stuck in all of this recovery frames like you would be if you were trying to do like a full string or something like that, or if you had canceled into a special move. And then he gets the rest as well. Nicely done. It's 412 damage. That is a lot, and he didn't spend a crushing blow. He spent only 1 bar of meter. I mean, look, I've been talking about how Rain has been fun to play, and getting good damage with Rain has been a nice time. And Water Ball, being able to get 37%, or in the corner I can get almost 40% for 2 bars is great. And Joker's out here spending 1 bar and getting 412. That is so good. Now, part of that was he also did the Fatal Blow cancel, but, I mean, is the Fatal Blow cancel a cost? Is it a cost? Now he has access to his throw crushing blow. It's huge. I can't believe that just happened. So, he let him get away with that 412 damage, right? He lets him get away with the 412. And then, on Rashid, he's had enough of this Joker momentum. He tries to break, and Sully is there waiting with the Fatal Blow. What a read by Sully. This is going to be huge damage. If you look at where this health bar is, and this is scaling reset now, I believe, I'm going to guess, Rashid dies right now. Sully's going to be taking this round off of that. He could survive, but I believe it's just scaling completely reset, so he's good to go. Oh, definitely. Oh, wow. Not enough. Okay, but, I mean, the easy chip out afterward. So, I was a little off. But because he spent his defensive meter, he can't survive that chip out. Joker's got one of the best mids in the game. That money that's on fire that he throws at you. Why would you worry about it? Like, it's also got because he's not putting his hand out there, it's got this sort of factor of, it's not me that I'm threatening you with. I'm threatening you with a weapon in essence. So, he's kind of safe from that, which is huge. That is absolutely huge. All right, there's that crushing blow off of that launcher we were talking about earlier in the previous round, and now it has come up, and he gets a clean 410 damage off of that. And because Rashid had spent the defensive meter and all of the things that went wrong in the previous round, he's got to hold all of that as well. Yo! That was huge. What a play by Sully. The Joker momentum was just insane. I mean, this entire round is art here from Sully. Huge down 2 for the anti-air. I mean, let's go back. Let's just wind it back to where Sully takes control. First off, we've got a great combo opening here from Sully. 410, and that's off of the crushing blow, okay? He opens things up with a 410 crushing blow. Keeps the pressure going. Now, at a certain point, Rashid is going to slow it down a little bit. He does find a hit here. I think he finds a little bit more as well. No, he doesn't. So he finds a quick hit there, and then he goes for the jump in, and Sully is absolutely ready. Down 2 for the launcher, gets the clean conversion, and it's just a setup. Sully's not being necessarily greedy, or he's being greedy in the smart way. He's not being greedy in that, like, I'm going to go rob a bank. He's like, no, I'm going to go invest in a stock that's going to pay off later on. Yes, it's a little greedy, because if it works out, I'm going to get big money, but it's not a gimme it now greedy. He's kind of trying to get the payoff later on. So he goes for a setup with this amplified jumping jester and cashes out. It's going to connect, and this is going to be damage that, again, because it's just the normal grounded damage of Joker, this uppercut right here, even if a breakaway had come out, this uppercut is still huge damage, and then he's susceptible to the mids and everything afterward, and he's going to follow up after this. He can follow up. There's the second uppercut, and that's 34%. 34% for a double uppercut combo here. Like, Joker is insane. This character is wild. This character is incredibly strong when you put it in the right hands, and Sully, I think, is definitely a great example of that. Obviously, we've all seen Sonic Fox and what they've been able to do with the character. They are an incredibly talented individual as well. So no surprise to see that when other talented players pick up the character, they're able to also find some really big success. And, you know, when we get back to offline, or when Sonic Fox gets back into playing competitively within the scene, I don't know if they're not interested in playing in the online stuff. I think they've been in a couple of online events, but for the most part, we haven't seen them really in like the Pro Tour or in Champions of the Realm here. But it'd be interesting to see how the character has sort of evolved throughout the time, right? When we initially saw them really working it and running it with Joker, that was in Final Combat. That was like almost a year ago. So now the character's definitely been kind of baking a little bit. We've got custom Joker here, so really interesting stuff available, and I'm really curious to see what not only Sonic Fox but the Joker community as a whole is going to really bring to the table, because this character, personally, goes in my top 5. I really struggle fighting this character. I think this character is really powerful. Ooh, doesn't get the combo start here, but you can tell Sully is really feeling himself a little bit. He's confident. He's been having a good run, so he immediately, from the outset, tries to go for the jumping jester. He spends meter on it as well. He's not going for the jack in the box, which guarantees him to kind of control and turn. He's looking to make a big call out here. Doesn't end up paying off. He does, well, I guess it does kind of pay off, right? He gets the hit from it, but because he got caught by the soul burst from Rashid, he's not going to be able to get the damage or the opening here. Yeah, Spawn can do incredible damage. I think Spawn is, without a doubt, one of the best robbery characters in the game. You corner Spawn, and you're potentially asking to eat 70%. It's pretty insane, especially if you don't have defensive meter. There it is again. This is what, in my opinion, makes Joker so frustrating to deal with, is it feels like this character can get away with whatever he wants. Sully is able to throw out this kapow on block, and I mean, look at the pushback here. This is the distance, and he's minus 19. Who cares? Who cares that he's minus 19? He's minus 19, and he's all the way over here. So Spawn is, even with the cape goes to about here. So he's got to dash, and it's not just like a quick micro dash. It's not like when you block certain things that have a little bit of pushback and you need to make sure you move in close enough for your jab to connect. No, he's got a complete, almost an entire dash, and then he can start to swing. By that time, as usual, Joker is totally safe. So even tries to jump in there and not going to find anything. And I think that ends up being really, really powerful for Joker. All right, nice throw here in the corner. This is going to push him past 50%. Life lead here for Sully as well now. There's the setup again. I love the way he uses the setup to immediately use this lunging move. So typically, even with Joker throwing out a jack-in-the-box right here, or this jumping jester right here, it wouldn't necessarily guarantee any kind of threat. The range that they're at, you know, the crowbar normals are going to kind of peter out in range at about this distance right here. So, for the most part, honestly, Joker's only really, really long distance normal is going to be the running forward 3 that he uses. So, this is the perfect range and coverage for Sully to go ahead and try to make that move to get in with that forward 3. And he does actually hit him with it as well, because Rashid's trying to navigate and get around that jumping jester. Life bar is pretty low here. Now, I believe that Rashid does have a little bit of superiority if they're going to play a exclusively long-range game. Joker doesn't have the best fireball. Very easy to duck underneath this, and to be honest, this almost looks like a... Well, it might not be, but this could have been a input error from him. He might have been going for the cape where he would have absorbed this bullet and won the round, but instead he's getting this cape swing, which goes quite far, but not far enough. So that is going to cost him. And now Joker's got the life lead. Rashid has to get in, but those amplified projectiles are so good. He doesn't have the meter to do another one, though. Oh, nice. That was such a quick cancel on that, too. What an interesting play here. He gets to Chain's range, which that's one of the other more powerful things about Spawn is his ability to, much like I was talking about Joker with the money that's on fire, this is a more significant and prominent version of that, where he's attacking you with something that is not himself, so you can't punch him in the chains to open him up for that. You can't whiff punish him at this range. You need to get up close and personal to him, and he's pushing you back with these chains. And the range at which he can do this, I mean, the chain, you could definitely be back even a little bit further, and Joker would still have to deal with this. And I love the cancel here, immediately canceling off of the soul charge, and just going to back away. He's got the life lead. He already took a defensive bar off of him. Here's another, he as soon as he gets that amplified meter. So this is him basically biding time. He's just waiting the clock out on his meter here. As soon as he's got the meter, all right, I got the meter. Here we go. Another amplified. The flawless block wasn't even enough to save Sully. Sully tried. He really did. You see him get the flawless block here, but it still ends up costing him the defensive bar, and then the amplify, which is what Rashid was waiting for, is going to be enough to chip him out. Oh, wow. So Rashid, that was a bold play, and I got to be honest, like, let's live in the universe where it hits for a moment here. You take the bold call out of, I'm going to do the spawn charge right away. If you hit Sully, he's just going to break away. Like, you're not going to get that damage. You're not. I don't think that, like, that is one of the spawn drawbacks, is that this is your main combo starter. It replaces your armor break. So if you lose, if you don't like, so once you use it to launch them, you also lose your ability to break them from being launched. And he doesn't have any other great launchers, really. I'm trying to think if there are any other special moves that he has that launch. You can technically launch in the corner off of the chains stance. I can't think of any others to do it. No, flawless blocking doesn't take a defensive bar, but he didn't have the life left, and surviving chip out takes a bar. So even with the flawless block, it makes the damage do less. It makes it do less damage, but it was still enough that it would have killed him. And because he's still a defensive meter, it eats your defensive meter instead of killing you. So that's how chipping people out works. You have to actually, not only if they're actually blocking, you have to hit them twice with moves that would have killed them, and go through their defensive meter, and then when they have no defensive meter left, then you can actually finally chip them out. So that's why certain moves that hit multiple times are also really important, because they will hit more than once and hit through that, because these don't care about damage, they care about number of hits. So that's where it can get kind of tricky. But yeah, this big risk that Spawn has to take here, I mean, it doesn't pay off, and even if it had, I don't think it would have been a big payoff. Sully, on the other hand, he goes for his own armor break, not going to actually find it. So Rashid wisely waits. He will break a little bit later, though. And now both players, no defensive meter. Backing away. And now, Sully's just going to try to control the pace here. He has a life lead. He doesn't want to necessarily contend with him. Although he's now cornered, right? So he doesn't have really a great means of getting away. But, dude, this crushing blow launcher. And Sully's going to turn this into huge damage. 410. That is so much. Even with the heavy gravity that happens later on in that string, still able to cleanly pick it up. So Sully is about to close this one out if he can close this round here. And I don't remember what the scores were on these. I just picked these based on, hey, I remember Sully's name, and I wanted to do it because of that. So, all right. He's a big opening. Defensive meter was available, and he just goes for that double uppercut combo, and he gets 342 damage for it. So full defensive meter is here and available. Sully, this is very much like the collector combo. Go for the uppercut mid-string. If it hits and they don't break away, you can still follow up afterward. And otherwise, you know, if they break away, you still get a good grip of damage. And that's what Sully's doing here. And so Rashid doesn't break away, gets clipped by a second uppercut, 342. Oh, that's going to be a big crushing blow here. But, I mean, Rashid has such a big deficit to make up here, right? Like, so far, Sully's been really able to control things. He's had a good run. He's spent a lot of his meter to do it. And he even forces the breakaway here. But after the breakaway is forced, this is where Rashid starts to turn it around. I think this is going to be death here. What a clean little combo from Sully. That was 341 for a bar. So it wasn't quite the 410. I'm curious if he got it off of a different launcher. No, it was still the same thing off of the Kapow, but he instead went for, maybe this is easier to do. The uppercut combos are a little bit more strict, and he realized he didn't need them. But this combo honestly looks a little bit fancier. And this clean little combo allows Sully to take it 3-0. And I gotta be honest, I'm a Sully fan. I loved watching him play Cassie, because I play Cassie a little bit on the side. So, I'm a big Sully fan. I had not seen his Joker before. This was a new treat for me to be able to see his Joker. In the Nightmare series, he's primarily been playing Cetrion and Cassie. So, this was actually really cool to see his Joker, and his Joker looks terrifying. So, really, really strong stuff there from Sully, able to take that 3-0 over Rashid. And Rashid is a really, really strong player in his own right. So, I mean, that just kind of shows the power of Joker. Definitely, I think, a character that is in that contention for top 5. You know, one of the 15 characters in that discussion or whatever. And, of course, shout-outs to Sully bringing home a really strong victory in Champions of the Realm top 8. Huge stage to do that on. And, of course, big shout-outs to Destroyer and Caboose here for letting me take a look at and analyze this footage. I really appreciate them letting me do this match analysis on here. Make sure if you guys have a PlayStation and an Ethernet cord that you guys are getting involved with the Champions of the Realm. It's a weekly series. Happens, I think, pools on Wednesday, top 8 on Friday. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. Make sure you guys are signing up for that because it is a really fun time. And we are going to be moving into the next, another top 8 match from this week's top 8 in our next episode. So make sure you tune in for that as well.